You alright guys, how's it going? It is David Clayton from KZR Racing once again, and welcome back to my F1 Manager 22 career mode for round number 21 of Season 2 at the Brazilian Grand Prix. If you guys did miss the last episode, do feel free to check out my channel. The playlist will be there, along with all the other episodes. A few little bits and pieces to get through. We've got a development point on Gasly, along with a few other odds and ends to deal with in our emails. One thing I do want to check out is, with 2 races to go in the Drivers' Championship, it is actually pretty much a formality, actually. Max Verstappen is the 2023 Drivers' World Champion with 2 races to go. Unfortunately, Charles Leclerc couldn't quite close that gap to his rival. So... But all to play for, still in the Constructors' Championship. Red Bull are only 38 points ahead, and that's definitely definitely doable for Ferrari to overhaul. So, what we got, Gasly development point. Actually, before we do that, we'll have a look at the inbox. Defending for Gasly. Another difficult race, so yeah, pretty much the usual so far. So we will add another defending point to Gasly. Just having a look through now at other people. Dylan's got a development point, so we'll bump up his smoothness again. And anything for the staff? Nope, nothing on there. So... I suppose, at the moment, nothing else to go through, so... Oh no, we got an email just come through. The memorabilia room is in poor condition, so we will fix that up. And also, it says something about the gearbox as well for Sebastian Vettel's car, so... We will have a look at these. All the engines are a little bit worn as well. All the engines are worn on Sebastian's car, apart from number 3. We will add a new component here for Sebastian. It's going to give us a grip penalty, but that is what it is. Pierre seems to be okay with his engine, so I'm going to put him back on engine number 6 to try and save that newer engine for the last race. What are ERS on both guys? They seem to be okay. We'll do the same tactic here. We'll put them on their older ERS components and save them for the last race. But yeah, Sebastian will need a new gearbox, as will Gas is going to need a new gearbox as well, so it's going to happen, so I might as well just put him on a new gearbox. Both guys are going to be starting probably at the back of the grid this race, but as is the way. So, doesn't appear to be any... Yeah, all the components seem good. So, we will continue on. There's the refurbishment of the memorabilia room. Not a lot in there at the moment, but we got a few trophies this year for Pierre Gasly's podiums, which is... not too bad. So let's go through to the targets. So reach Q3, qualifying position, reach Q2, finishing position. Yep, so all that seems to be in order. So let's go through to the start of the weekend for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Okay, so Brazilian Grand Prix, both guys are going to be starting at the back of the grid, so I'm not going to put Doohan in the car this time. I know full well they have a penalty warning, but I'm going to simulate the session with both Gasly and Vettel in the car. Oh, it's penalties galore, actually. Everyone's got penalties. So, at least we're not the only ones, so can't complain about that. Although it's going to make trying to find out who's going to be starting well on the grid very interesting. 66 and 69 on the setup confidence. That's actually not too bad for simulating the first session. So, I'm going to have a play around with the setups over the next 2 sessions, and unless anything happens, I will see you guys at the end of practice. That's the end of the practice sessions. We managed to get Vettel on decent setup, so we sent him out for a quick lap to see what he could do. Gasly had a little bit of a struggle, but we managed to get him up to 87%, so we're okay for them. We're okay for going into qualifying at the moment. So, as you can see, due to our penalties, we're probably going to be starting. Well, Vettel's definitely going to be starting near the back of the grid, most likely. Whereas Gasly will be somewhere near the back. But we'll have to see. So, we're going to go into... I'm going to send the guys into qualifying. And see whereabouts we end up for tomorrow's race. Okay, end of Q2. It was actually Sebastian who got through this time instead of Gasly, which was quite surprising. Gasly had a shocker. Vettel comes up to the line, and he does not improve from P15. I didn't think he would. So that is the end of our qualifying. We'll both be starting from... well, I think we'll be starting from the back of the grid, because we've got everyone else who's got penalties as well, but... Yeah, Gasly, during his second qualifying, his second lap in Q1, he couldn't improve because he was being hounded by both the Alpines, which slowed him down considerably. So,
here we are, folks. We're back for
we will find out when where we start on the grid. And it is 14th for Gasly and 16th for Sebastian, so not too bad, actually. Pretty much, well, it's pretty much where we qualified, so we can't complain with that. Right, we're going to bump up the fuel. We're going to fill them right up, so we have plenty of fuel to burn on both cars. Because it's pretty, it's a high altitude power circuit mainly, so there's no reason not to. As for strategy, let's go on to Gasly. It's 2-stop all the way across the board, no matter what. So, So that's... Yeah, that's not going to work no matter what we do. So I wonder, do that, and then, no, we want to keep that. No, that's not going to work either. You have to have a hard tyre stint here. Yeah, no matter what, you have to have a hard tyre stint here, so it's going to have to be... Yeah, it's going to have to be the 2-stop medium hard. That's the only way it's going to work. So we're going to leave that, we're going to select that one for Gasly. As for Sebastian, we are going to do something a little bit different. We're going to put him on the hard tyres in the middle stint, but then we're going to swap him over to the mediums on the end. So We will do this one for Sebastian. Do something a little bit different. And then driver options, pace mode. And then the same for Gasly, aggressive. There we go. So, we're all set up. Let us go to the start of the Brazilian Grand Prix.
Now we should have good weather for the race, and that will be welcome news for the teams. There we have Pierre Gasly. Slower than most yesterday, so today they'll be starting from the bottom half of the grid. And for the second driver, it's Sebastian Vettel. They'll be starting the race from the bottom half of the grid, so there's a fair bit of ground to make up. Will their hard work pay off today? Who will win? Only time will tell.
Right, green flag at the back, 5 red lights to the Brazilian Grand Prix. It's a Mercedes front row like it was in real life in 2022. And we're off. As per, let's have a look at the start. Gasly didn't get the best of starts, but he has held his position. Vettel, meanwhile, has actually gained a place. He's right up behind Gasly now.
Martin with a great play there. They've moved up.
Let's have a look at that. Vettel managed to get a good jump off the start. And completely clears the Williams before they even get to turn 1. So it's a great start from Sebastian. He seems to have found a little bit of form. And now we're going to go back to neutral on the ERS. We don't want to burn all this too soon. As for Gasly, he's having a look at one of the AlphaTauris, but at the same time, Vettel down the inside. Vettel seems to have come alive all of a sudden at Brazil. He's been nowhere for pretty much the whole season. And now, there he goes, up into P14 ahead of Gasly. So Vettel seems to have the pace over Gasly in this race weekend, so I'm not going to dispute that. So Gasly was considering putting him out on hold back, but that will probably slow him up a little bit more than I want him to. So now, first lap's done. We will start saving the tyres a little bit now.
Yeah, take it easy.
Don't want to end up cooking the tyres early on. So now, Vettel seems to be doing a little bit better. There's a car that's run wide somewhere on circuit. Don't know who it is yet. We'll find out in a second.
Who's running wide there?
And it's Russell. Russell's run wide. He was the leader.
Here's George Russell.
Well, he was the leader, but lost out to one of the... both Mercs have lost out to the Red Bull. I believe that is... oh, no, it's Perez. Verstappen's actually down here with us. So, yeah. Perez is leading currently. And there's someone else who's locked up somewhere. I can see on the mini-map it's behind us, so it doesn't really matter. There's a crash as well, apparently. And it's Stroll. Oh, he was ahead of us, actually. So both our guys have gained the free position. There's the lock-up and, low speed into the tyre wall. He's not out of the race. Stroll's not out of the race, but he will have to pit again. He will have to pit early.
No, wait.
And Gasly has finally lost out to Verstappen. That was an inevitability, in all honesty, considering the pace of that Red Bull. So... hopefully Gasly, if he can stick close to Sebastian and Perez. Fortunately, Sebastian's got DRS and the Williams in front of him, if Tsunoda doesn't, so he might be able to make use of that on the next lap, but yeah, as I was saying, if we go back up, Perez leads. Russell is at DRS range. He's going to be under attack from Hamilton and Leclerc behind. Then Bottas, Ricciardo, Ocon, Norris and Alonso, with Albon rounding out the top 10. Sebastian's only down in P13, so he's not a million miles away. So now, just need Sebastian. So we're going to go attack and overtake as we go up the hill, because I want to try and get this Williams. Meanwhile, we'll get Pierre on the same. Unfortunately, Sebastian's not going to be anywhere near the Williams just yet, but we're going to leave him on. There's a yellow flag somewhere. Hopefully it's not in our where we are. It's a lock-up for Zhou. Meanwhile, Sebastian, he's got the DRS open. He's going to go down the inside of Tsunoda, and he does get the move done up into P12, I believe that is. So now, putting back on... it's P11 actually, so Zhou must have been ahead of us when he locked up. And now, Verstappen, he automatically follows Tsunoda through. He's not going to leave us alone. So unfortunately, I feel this may be a slam dunk for Verstappen on the next lap. Meanwhile, Gasly's really struggling for whatever reason. Sainz is now on the back of him. He's managed to just crawl back into the DRS of Tsunoda. And he's fallen out of it again, so he's probably going to be overtaken by Sainz now. Nothing we can do about that. But in the meantime, Vettel still holds on to P11. He manages to keep ahead of Verstappen, so
P15.
Everything's okay at the moment. Verstappen again has a look, but doesn't quite pull all the way out. Vettel still holds on to that P11, so Sebastian's race isn't looking too bad at the moment. Verstappen's going to overtake him. Yeah, there he goes. Verstappen's going to overtake him now. That was pretty much going to happen no matter what I did. So Verstappen's in a much faster car. The new world champion. But you know what? Last two races of the season, let's have some fun with this. He's still in DRS range, so Verstappen doesn't have DRS, so yeah, let's have some fun with it. He's not going to get him on this straight, but we'll have a crack at him at the end of turn 4. Doesn't stop Vettel having a look. So, new 2-time world champion versus a 4-time world champion as we go down to turn 4. Got him on overtake. And unfortunately, that O-line pace of the Red Bull, no, Vettel still had a look round the outside. So he's got plenty of fight in him, Sebastian. So, and he's now going to try and have a go at Verstappen in the same way Verstappen overtook him the lap before. It's, he had a proper go at him, Sebastian. So I'm going to leave, we're on lap 6 now, so I'm going to leave these guys to it. Vettel's still going to get the DRS off Verstappen anyway, so I'm quite happy to just let him follow in that line. As for Gasly, I don't know what's happened to Gasly this race. He has lost. He has just not been on it from the start of practice for whatever reasons. So we'll have to see later on, but we're going to skip ahead now and let the guys do what they need to do. And we'll see how things go near the pit stops. Well, I say that. A VSC is just deployed because there's been multiple cars that have crashed. Fortunately, neither of our guys have been hit. Virtual safety car is out.
Yeah.
It's only lap 7, I believe this is, so there's no point in pitting them in. So who is it that's crashed? Oh no, I'll just see the exclamation marks on the timing ladder. Have the Mercedes crashed into each other? Leclerc and oh!
Oh no! And there's the crash. Mark my words, there'll be questions asked about that
So
later.
Russell, with another schoolboy error, spins out in front of his teammate, and they end up crashing into each other. Russell does indeed come in, and I'm assuming, yeah, Hamilton's in behind him as well. So that has completely wrecked Mercedes' race altogether. And that means both Gasly and Vettel are going to get 2 free positions here. So Vettel is now into the top 10. And he's back in, he's straight back behind Verstappen as well. So I'm going to put both of them on light on their tyres just to save them a little bit while the VSC's out. But yeah, all the field is now bunched up, barring the top 3, which is Perez, Leclerc and Bottas now. But Ocon is just behind Bottas in the DRS zone. So from Bottas down to Gasly, everyone's all going to get DRSs off each other. But that now also brings Verstappen back into the equation as well. So now, we're going back to racing conditions now. As the VSC has just ended, so DRS will also be active again.
DRS is enabled now.
Fortunately, Vettel has now got Sainz for company.
We're good to push.
Okay.
So I kind of need... there's DRS open, so that's going to give Vettel some protection. But as for Gasly, I need him to get on the back of that Williams and start making some moves. So as soon as that Williams is eventually going to fall out of DRS zone, providing what happens, and there's Sainz, we just saw in the ahead of us, having a look at Vettel. And he's down the inside. Yep, there he goes. That was pretty much a foregone conclusion there. But Gasly, I need him to pick up his pace and get on the back of that Williams before he starts causing problems for us, which is what we don't need. But for now, nothing much else is going on. There's another yellow flag somewhere. This weekend has been nothing but incidents galore. There's another car that's run wide somewhere, and it's Ocon who's locked up. He's now dropped behind further back.
You've done a good job.
Ocon was actually ahead of everyone.
Let's have a look.
Ocon was actually ahead of everyone. He was just in front of, he was like 2 or 3 cars ahead. There he is, right at the side of the road on the penultimate corner. So now, Vettel's back into the points again. But ideally, I need Gasly to catch up to that Williams to take the pressure off Sebastian a little bit, which... yeah, he's not really able to do, in all honesty. He hasn't really got the pace for it. So, let's get him on aggressive, see if we can...
We think we can lean on the tyres more.
he's got a little bit more time than Sebastian to play with, so... let's see if we can get him up to that Williams. Now as we go up the hill, we're going to go on deploy.
Use energy.
Yeah.
Sebastian's going to have DRS off of Sainz in front, so that's going to give him a little bit of protection. from Tsunoda, but I need Gasly to start putting pressure on this Williams and take the pressure off Sebastian. And now deploy again as we come out of turn 3. Unfortunately, I do get the feeling Tsunoda's going to overtake Sebastian here. And there goes Williams round the outside. Try and get Sebastian to hold on round the outside. Unfortunately. I know you feel Sebastian, but he's still fighting it. Of course, we're both going to be out of DRS range. And there goes Tsunoda. He finally gets ahead. And of course, he's just going to sneak back into the DRS range. But now, the Williams does not have DRS. There's another yellow flag directly behind us. And it's Russell again who's spun out.
So we just need to push now.
What is going on with George Russell today? Sebastian's going to have a look around the outside of Tsunoda. Not quite. Yeah, he is. He's side by side with Yuki. Who's going to get the... Oh, he's going to get the DRS off of Sainz in front. Oh, how does that work? How does the Williams just miraculously gain pace all of a sudden to catch up to the cars ahead of him?
Got back a bit.
So Vettel comes out of the pits. He's still behind Magnussen and Tsunoda. But both of them are on the same hard tyre strategy as he is. So I have a little bit more confidence that this might work. Magnussen's overtaken Tsunoda. So I'm going to put Sebastian on aggressive just to get him into getting to catch up a little bit. Meanwhile, Gasly, he's going to be coming in this lap. Let's get him on to aggressive for when he comes out. Hulkenberg follows him in the background. We watch Vettel try and hunt down the Williams pair. Gasly makes a stop. He's going to be on medium tyres as opposed to everyone else around him on hard.
Safety car.
And there's a safety car that's come... Oh, crying out loud.
Car in the wall. Okay.
Let's get both these guys. Oh, Tsunoda's crashed out, so that's one less car that Sebastian has to worry about. I didn't even see that happen in all honesty, but again, it is a long run-off at turn 1. So now, there's Gasly. He's come out of the pits, so why can't I adjust Gasly's?
We just need to charge up. Coming.
Are you serious? Oh, it's not going to let me do anything with Gasly's. Oh, this game! This game sometimes is so special. Okay, guys. Quick cutaway. We are on lap 24 now, but you may notice if you look at the top left hand, if you look at the left hand side, we're in the middle of a different race because I was not going to sit there and get angry at the fact that I was not going to be able to control Gasly because the game just glitched out and decided to be a total nuisance. So this is the gist of the race. Both my drivers have, because I tried to take back control of something that I was because I tried to take back control of my drivers. because of something that happened that was out of my control. The game has decided to punish me for it by having both of my drivers spin out at different points of the race. Hence why we're back in 16th and 18th for absolutely no reason whatsoever. So don't be surprised if you don't hear much out of me for the rest of the race, guys, because yeah, I've had it with this game now. I've officially had it at this game screwing me just because it feels like it.
Let's take a...
Right, I was starting to get very annoyed at what was going on in this race, but now on lap 48, there's a safety car out. And Vettel is yet to make his stop, so I'm going to pit him in now and get him onto the medium tyres for the end of this race. And I swear to God, game, if you glitch out on me this time, oh, I'll try putting Sebastian early to try and make odds, but it doesn't really matter because we're a lap down anyway. So, yeah. Okay. Bit of a twist in the tail. This is the first time I've actually seen this on this game. They've actually allowed the lap cars, i.e. ourselves, to re-overtake and get back into position. You haven't seen a huge chunk of this race, guys, because I literally just lost all patience with it after Sebastian spun out again while in a fight with Alonso. But now we may actually have a race to the end.
Okay.
Okay, the safety car's now coming in, so I'm going to get these guys on the pushing, because if I look at the mini-map, they're about to go racing. Hopefully we're going to catch the end of the queue just before they start, and we do. So let's get them both on attack, try and get them, see if we can make some places here. Away we go.
Copy.
Now Sebastian is going to make a move down the inside. I'm actually going to let him go. I'm not going to have Gasly fight Vettel too hard because Vettel is on the better tyre. Back off, Pierre. We don't need you doing that. So now Pierre's now let Sebastian through. So now Sebastian on medium tyres.
Push 4.
Okay.
Hopefully he's going to have a pretty decent run to the end of the race.
Okay.
And hopefully, if all pans out, because we've got we've got Stroll on hard tyres. So if we can deal with Magnussen and Stroll and try and latch onto the back of Ricciardo, we could hopefully see some points maybe. Maybe. Although as I say that, the game of course decides it's going to make Vettel run wide. Game, stop it before... Oh my... Ugh! I don't know what you want me to do, guys, because this game is really, really trying to test me now. It's really trying to test me. All I'm asking for is just like some fair cooperation. You glitched out on me. I reset the state of the game so I could have control of my driver back, and you punish me for it. Can we just not do this, please? Just let me have a fair chance here.
Okay.
Okay, we're on the last lap with Sebastian.
So last lap, you can push the tyres.
Hunting down Stroll. This is our last chance realistically to overtake him, so I need to get it done now. And looks as though he may be able to do it. Come on, Sebastian. Come on, come on, come on, come on. There we go. Down the inside. Get him on deploy. Just using everything I've got available to me to just keep Stroll at bay. So we're now up into P11. As for Gasly, P13 ahead of Hulkenberg. Neither of the Alpines are scoring today, which means we're guaranteed at the end of this race P4 in the Constructors, which is going to be the ideal scenario for us. The only ideal scenario out of this race is Verstappen wins the Brazilian Grand Prix from all the way back down in 17th place, ahead of Leclerc, Perez and Sainz. Zhou, Bottas, Magnussen, Norris, Ricciardo and Hamilton round out the top 10, and here comes Sebastian over the line for P11 ahead of Stroll and Gasly.
Well, it was a race full of struggle.
Yes, it was, Sebastian, because the game made it an unnecessary struggle. That first race, that first initial race, if we didn't have that glitch out with Gasly's controls, we would have scored points. But the game was like, ha, lol, good luck with that, mate.
Great work.
And as a result, P11 and 13 was the best we could have managed. This game is honestly something else, man. Gasly still holding P5 at the moment. He's 13 points ahead of Hamilton still, so we'll have to see what Hamilton does in the final round. See if Gasly can hold on to that P5. Meanwhile, in the Constructors, that is also confirmation as well. With that result, Red Bull are the 2023 Constructors champions with a solid 48-point gap. There's no way Ferrari's going to overhaul that, so just like Charles Leclerc and Ferrari last year, Red Bull do the double this year. Mercedes will hold on to P3 in the championship. Aston Martin, ourselves, P4. Definitely a good season all round this year, despite what happened in this race. Alpine will still be in a constructors fight with McLaren for P5, going into the final round at Abu Dhabi. And of course, Alfa Romeo, they're pretty much secure in P7, and it's Haas and AlphaTauri to fight for the last few places, last few points to avoid P9, and then Williams down in P10 with no points. But Zhou has definitely brought AlphaTauri back into contention with Haas with that P5 for definite. That's all the experience and everything. Sorry if I don't have much to say, guys, but a huge chunk of that race was missed out, largely due to the fact that the game was just doing its utmost to infuriate me. With first off glitching out under the safety car with Gasly's controls, and then spinning both of my drivers out of good positions. The fact that with those spins, I mean, Vettel spun twice. And he still finished P11. If he hadn't spun twice, he would have been up in the points without question. But yeah, I'm going to sign off now, guys. I don't really want to be looking at this game anymore. So if you did enjoy the video, do feel free to leave a like and a comment, and share this video around. It really does help. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of those videos. I'm David Clayton of KZR Racing, and I will see you next time for the final round at Yas Marina. Goodbye.